Well, I know it's late for you, so thanks for so much for doing
It's
it.
it's 8 o'clock at night. That's not late.
Well, it's only noon here in LA, so
Oh no, my day is only just beginning, unfortunately.
you're in that moment, in that mood right now,
No,
that stage.
no, I'm on that stage of at the moment. I think I'm on 3 hours sleep a day, so
Oh dear.
it's yeah. Oh.
Well, I'm sure whatever it is, it's worth it.
Oh, it's worth it for sure.
All right, so I guess we'll start. I'm here talking once again to composer Lorne Balfe, who recently composed Skylanders, Spyro Adventure, and co-composed Assassin's Creed Revelations with franchise composer Jesper Kyd. And Lorne also worked with Hans on the upcoming Sherlock Holmes as a score producer, but thanks so much, and nice to chat again.
Yes, lovely talking to you too, Kai. I hope you're well.
I am well. I hope you're well too. I hope you had I don't know if you had a Thanksgiving dinner, but if you did, I hope it was lovely.
No, I did not.
You did not. No.
No, I'm British. I have no reason to celebrate that.
Food. I mean, I don't. We celebrated the pillaging of the country, but I celebrated for food.
No, I think for the last couple of months, I don't know what month it is, let alone what day it is. So I missed that celebration.
All right. So I'll talk slow just so you can understand me then.
Oh no, it's all right. I got English.
So since we talked before, we don't have to go through all that, standard line of intro questions. So let's jump in.
Yeah.
You have 2 video game scores out now, and you've done a handful in the past.
Yeah.
But it seems like you found a new area of interest. How do you like composing for games now? You've done a couple, and are you gonna try to stay in that area? Maybe do more in the future?
Oh yes, no, I'm already on another two.
Oh, really?
I've already started the next Skylanders,
Ooh, okay.
and also I've just started the next Assassin's Creed.
Oh, wow.
So I'm well into the world of games now. So it's full on, and no, I think I've never seen a difference between gaming and filming. Really, I think it's we're trying to do the same job, and the only one difference is that I think I have to write far more music for games than for a film.
Like, what's the ratio, do you think?
Well, in a film, you'll do maybe averagely 70 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And then on a game, most likely 3 hours.
Yeah.
So it's quite a bit more, but you tend to have more time with the game because they're developing it for 2.5, 3 years sometimes.
Yeah.
You've got a longer window, but you can only work when there's development occurred on the actual game.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of downtime sometimes.
Yeah, I could imagine. And for Spyro, though, you of course you worked with Hans, did the theme.
Yeah.
And in that instance, does he just hand you his one track and then you build from it, or and how does it affect your scoring compared to, say, if you did the theme yourself and worked off your own theme? Does it affect? Do you guys have the same kind of process, same thought process?
Yes, I think the only difference is, though, with Spyro, the main theme was really just the main theme, and it doesn't really appear that often.
Mm-hmm.
There was element themes, and so I think the main theme really only appeared about 3 or 4 times. So it was very unlike a normal film, because I suppose when I say 3 or 4 times, I'm probably lying, because if it went to the menu, say, it would go to the main theme.
Yeah.
But I don't have to do that. I've done it once, and then it'll get repeated all the time. So you
Right.
kind of you get out of that. So it was not like a film where, like at the moment after just finishing Sherlock, where there's new themes, and you weave it in subtly throughout the film to build the characters. So I think with Spyro thematically, it was quite different.
Mm-hmm. And you also, you did Assassin's Creed Revelations with Jesper, and
Yeah.
he's been the solo voice of that franchise since the beginning. So how did you get involved with Assassin's Creed?
I had done for the last Assassin's Creed before Revelations. I had done the trailer for E3, and basically that was the whole. It's actually in the game, but it was the big kind of reveal of what the game was going to be. So Ubisoft had asked me to do the trailer for that, and then it just then I think because Revelations was it's a different game now, and it looks differently. There was far more cinematics in it and cutscenes, and basically the feeling was to try to get more film-esque with it, and establish, because there was really I think there was probably about 70 minutes of cinematics alone.
Wow, that's a lot.
Yeah, it's the length of a film.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of that, and so then I think the idea was to kind of, I would do the set scenes, the cut scenes, and then the concept of having an actual theme for the franchise got brought up, and then I spent many weeks just trying to create an identity for it.
Right. And did you work with Jesper at all, or was it more like you had your separate scoring duties? And then...
No, we never even talked, unfortunately.
Really? Wow.
No. It was kind of two different worlds. I know visually it's the same, but it was just like doing a film, really. The cinematics were dialogue driven, and it was trying to kind of get the music to just push the story on, and how it was more story driven.
Right.
I think than the other games. So it was very I know musically where he was coming from. So if it was from a certain level,
right,
then I know it was good. So there was the ability to actually know and how to connect the actual different camps.
Yeah. So I mean, but were you hearing the stuff he was doing, or was it just you were kind of doing? Were you exchanging music at all?
No. The thing is, when I started on the project, I had never I hadn't heard the music from Assassins, so it was kind of all very new to me. So when I started writing the trailer, it was a long process, because then that was kind of, then the concept of the main theme started to happen. And I just thought I should keep well away from hearing anything that I just didn't want to get influenced by knowing that world.
Yeah. And well, that's interesting. To have no communication, and kind of both, I guess, two different voices going. But I mean, the score is great. I think they mesh well, and they both have their own separate sounds and identities. But it's awesome that you guys were able to release, what it was like, three discs worth of it.
Yeah, three albums. I think you never know, another 3 might get released. But you know what though, the way that I've known film scores get done with composers where they've never even spoken.
Yeah. I've heard of that too. It's not a new thing. Yeah.
No, and I don't know what questions there are to ask. If I can hear something, then I know where that world is, and I think if I had talked about it, we would have ended up probably mirroring each other too much. So I think having the barrier was kind of good.
Yeah. Well, I guess I've never worked I mean, I don't compose music, but if I, I think it would be a good challenge, at least creatively.
It's a big challenge
Yeah.
because you know you want to write your best, so you're always wondering, oh, I wonder if the other music's better than mine. So it keeps you on your toes for
Yeah.
sure.
And so earlier this year, rewinding a little back, I don't know if a lot of people know, but you did the Rango game based
Oh yes.
based on the film. And
Hmm.
I'm always curious because I play, you know, I love film, so if it's a good video game, I like to try it out. And it always
Yes.
seems the case that the themes from the film are never in the game. Is that a legal issue, and how do you work around?
I've lost track how often I've had this conversation
Really?
because I just don't understand why you can't,
Mm-hmm.
why you can't thematically connect. It's like we do quite a lot of trailers as well. So
Mm-hmm.
like with Inception, we had done the trailer for we did the music for the trailer.
Right.
There were three, and we did the second one, and it connects you to your film.
Mm-hmm.
It's giving you a teaser visually, but also musically to what this new world's going to be. But then sometimes you can't do that on trailers, and the same as with video games. I've never understood. I think they do it with Star Wars,
Right.
but which you know you'd have to. But no, there's always complications with the studios, not allowing it to happen. So unfortunately, that was the case with Rango. So, but due to the fact I'd worked a bit on the film,
Right.
so
Right.
I knew the Sonic world. So that's all I could do was at least try to make it in that Sonic world.
And I mean, if you were legally allowed to use the themes, Hans's themes and stuff that you guys did, would you do it, or would you try to? Do you find it more of a challenge to?
No, no, but I'd love to do it that way because then they're connected.
Right.
It's like they had the same voice. They say they had Johnny Depp doing the voice in the
Mm-hmm.
game, so
Yeah, it's
and
bizarre.
the look of it's the same, and so I think to have as many connections as you can, the better. If you're sitting watching the film, you want to play the game, you want to be in the same world.
Yeah.
So it would be no. I think it makes total sense to have everything bridged together.
It's Hollywood and lawyers and legally, and it's all weird stuff. I
Of
don't.
of course, no.
um, and so you also composed a TV documentary for the BBC called, you know, Harry's Arctic Heroes.
Yes.
And you've done documentaries in the past, and
Yeah.
in your opinion, how must a score function in a documentary versus, say, a fictional narrative? Is it different? Are you looking for the same character development, same kind of things?
Oh, I think with documentaries, I think it's a hard one because I don't think the music should. Not going to sell myself well here. I don't think the music should really stand out.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got narrative, the last thing you want is to be distracted.
Right.
And I think that you should look at it so that if there's no dialogue, then that's your opportunity to take over. But you're being told information, but it's more personal than two people talking. It's the narrator
Mm-hmm.
actually saying what is going on. So it's a kind of a different beast, really. But the Walking with the Wounded was great. You know, having had family in the forces, it was just a very good cause,
Mm-hmm.
and it's. I think it's going to be shown in America. Actually, I know it's going to be shown in America. But it was. I think with that, it was just a great opportunity to do something that meant something to people.
Yeah. And I mean, personally, you probably, if it's personally affected you, I feel like you'd probably interject yourself more into to music as well, right?
Oh yeah, yes. Well, I think if you've had family or you know friends that have served in the war, then or wars, you know, or grandparents, I think it's if you can do things with music, then it's great. You know, Hans and I just finished doing the Amnesty Anthem for 50 years,
Mm-hmm.
and again, you know, something like that. It's just good to be able to do something that you can that might raise more awareness.
Yeah, I totally agree. That's I heard the Amnesty theme. It's a great little piece.
Well,
And
the new one, I think, we started off doing. It's been a slow teaser, really, because
hmm
the first one was for the animation, and then the full one, which is like 3 minutes long, um, will be coming out this month, I think. But it's not meant to be kind of a charity album or
yeah,
something like that.
yeah.
It's rich, really a case of. One more voice is the campaign, so it's meant to be. There will be a film with it that it goes with. So it's really just to kind of keep awareness up about Amnesty, because unfortunately, as a charity, just like Walking with the Wounded, which was Harry's Arctic Heroes, these charities get forgotten about, unfortunately,
Yeah.
because there's always a new charity to beat it. So
Yeah. And yeah, I mean they're competing with each other too for funding
oh,
and
of course,
attention. So
yeah,
um, and now coming up, you worked with Hans on Sherlock Holmes, which you did with
yeah,
the first one, and both films, along also with Inception, you produced the score.
yes.
And so what exactly is the role of a music producer?
Well, oh, listen, I don't. I think we'd be here for about 10 hours, because there's lots of producers I know that just don't really do much, or they don't. They just come in and listen to something and then make one change,
hmm
turn the cowbell up, and then that's it. And everybody else does the work. So it's totally different. With me, it's really a case of. Um, Getting trying to help create a sonic world,
hmm
and figure out the different instruments being used, and also, I was doing additional writing on it as well.
All
So
right.
it's a hard description, but in regards to for what I do, it's really just creating that, trying to help and create the sonic world. It's nearly always there anyway, but it's just I might have different ideas, and then it'll be put in.
And do you ever go up to Hans and tell him what he's doing is maybe wrong? And do you how do you how do you approach that if you're feeling something different than what he's doing?
Well, I think if you don't, then there's then A, there's no fun,
Yeah.
but also B, you don't create anything interesting, because you might like orange juice and I don't.
hmm
And we could leave it at that, or we could discuss why we actually don't like it, and come up with a nice combination of a teaspoon of apple juice, and we get a mixture. So I don't know, but I think it's a case of uh, no. If either of us don't like something, we say it,
hmm
and then that creates a good I think partnership.
No, I mean, yeah, I think collaboration is definitely the key, and not just scoring. I think in every aspect of
Oh yeah.
filmmaking. Yeah, so it's
No,
all.
but it's like if somebody writes a script, the actors have can contribute towards it. The director contributes towards it. So
hmm
it makes it a team effort.
No, definitely. And well, I guess to wrap up, I already asked you last time. If you had to pick one film ever made to score, which one would you pick? And so I don't. I guess to flip it, if you had a dream project to score, something that you want to score so bad that keeps you awake at night and you're just tossing and turning, what dream project would it be? That.
Dream project. Well, do you know? I think every time, and it's not to kind of try to get brownie points here, but every single project that comes along, I'm very thankful to work on.
hmm
I think this year I've lost track at the moment with things, but I think this year I had great. I was quite scared to work on Kung Fu Panda, because I'd always loved John Powell's music,
Uh-huh.
and then I worked on that, and that was just a great rush to kind of get into that world. and no, every single project is totally valid, and a couple of months ago I finished a thing with Ron Howard and Bryce Howard for this project called Imagination for Canon, and that was just fantastic. But I think every single project that comes, if you don't expect it, then it's a challenge, and that's what I think makes it fun, is these challenges, because I think that. There's nothing that I wouldn't not like to do. Well, maybe a country and western album. I don't think I'd like to work on that. But apart from that, no. Everything is. I'm too young in my career to kind of get bored by anything. So
Right.
thankfully.
Well, hopefully, maybe 10 years down the line, you'll have still maybe a dream project that you haven't done yet, but.
Maybe, but well, I think there always will be, because there's always going to be a new process. Listen, until 2.5 years ago, I never knew of the world of games.
Yeah.
I never played games. I never kind of saw games. So it's been an absolute wonderful eye opener now to kind of get into this world, and also now most of next year is booked with games. So it's there's always new projects coming along.
Well, that's a good thing for you and for us, for the listeners. So.
Good.
And but thank you so much, Lorne. I wish you Merry Christmas and a great New Year.
Merry Christmas to you, and I hope you had a good Thanksgiving.
I did. I flew home to the East Coast. And saw my family and everything. It was great. So
good.
So wish you well in London. Don't get some sleep. We don't want you tired. But
yeah, God forbid.
And safe travels when you end up coming back over here to.
Wonderful.
So
great.
Thank you so much, and
lovely talking to you, Cara.
All right, thanks, Lorne.
Thank you. Bye bye.